Hello. It's me again. I guess every week I am here. Good to see everybody. Hope you're having a good week so far. This week is China, so ni hao. I am going to be making a dish called. I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation, but I'm still going to try. Fan Kie Chao Dan, which is Chinese tomato egg stir fry. So, a couple of things. First, I'm using a wok. You don't have to use a wok when you make this, but you should if you have one. You just need to get the pan really, really hot, and then you're gonna throw the eggs in and cook them briefly, take them off, and put them on a plate, which I need to grab. Okay. And then blue aromatics, ginger, garlic, green onion, and then you're gonna throw in some chicken stock and some tomatoes and a little bit of the greens too. So you use the green onions. Okay, I can show you what I'm looking at. So we have the eggs, of course, the ginger, the garlic, the tomatoes. I opted for doing canned whole tomatoes. Feel free to do regular tomatoes if you want. And then some chicken stock and some peanut oil, and then the greens. And in the egg mixture is Jiaoxing wine, which is it's rice cooking wine. And you can get this from like any Asian grocery store. Most Asian grocery stores will have it. And then some cornstarch, white pepper, sesame oil, a little bit of salt. And you whisk it, mix it all together, and then you let it sit for 15 minutes. So that's an important step. And I didn't do that, of course, because I didn't want to whisk it and then sit here for 15 minutes waiting for it to be ready. So here I am now. Let's see. So I'm going to do... Actually, before I start doing this part, I'm just going to leave the heat off. Because I feel like since this meal will be pretty quick, because it's just basically like stir frying and then it's done, I am going to spend some time teaching and myself and all of you about Chinese culture when it comes to food. So let me, in full disclosure, I am not a master of Chinese, Mandarin, or Cantonese, or any other dialect, so please forgive me if I mispronounce things and you know the correct pronunciation. I am learning, so that is not an excuse for ignorance. It's just the reality of the situation. Okay, so the first section is basically just like a little intro. Chinese cuisine represents one of the world's most diverse and sophisticated culinary traditions, shaped by thousands of years of history, geography, and philosophy. My philosophy is food. Understanding Chinese food culture involves appreciating not just the flavors, but the deep social and cultural meaning embedded in every meal. So one thing that I was kind of challenged with when I was trying to figure out what meal to make is China is such a diverse country, and the climate, the geography, the ingredients that are available, and all those kinds of things. So I dug some deep. I go to Reddit and a few other places to get some perspective from people that have lived in China or visited China and spent significant time there. And this was the recommended dish over all the other ones because it was something that they had found wherever they went in China. So if for some reason people want to dispute that as being the right choice to make, that's to be determined, but I just wanted to share like how I even came to decide what to make, because there's things like Peking duck and some other things that I could have chosen to do, but this was also more like a meal that I guess a lot of people eat frequently. So anyway, I digress. Regional diversity. So I just mentioned this, but Chinese cuisine varies dramatically across regions, with 8 major culinary traditions recognized as the foundation of Chinese cooking. Szechuan cuisine from the southwest features bold, spicy flavors with numbing Szechuan peppercorns and fiery chili peppers. A personal story about this. So my friend Jim and I that I cook with every week, we've made hot pot several times, and when we've used hot pot soup bases, it is the packages that we got. The very first one we ever had a ton of Szechuan peppercorns, and we were like, "Oh, okay, this isn't gonna be bad." And then we started eating the food, and it was hot, but it wasn't hot in the sense of like, "Oh, I can't handle the heat." Our faces just went numb. And we're like, why? What is going on? And come to find out, there were just so many Szechuan peppercorns. And then the next time, I bought another soup base from the store. So then the second time, we made our own. And I didn't put Szechuan peppercorns in it at all. Actually, maybe I did, but not that many. And I crushed them. Well, I think I just used the Szechuan chilies. Anyway, that time was good. The next time, I was not prepared, and I bought a soup base again, and it had a ton of Szechuan peppercorns. So this is just like maybe word of the wise wisdom from like what that experience could be like, not just with Chinese cooking generally, but if you ever do hot pot and they ask for a hot soup base, know that if you get the hot one, it's likely going to have Szechuan peppercorns, and your face might be numb for the rest of the evening. Cantonese cuisine from Guangdong province emphasizes fresh ingredients, delicate flavors, and expert techniques like dim sum and roasted meats. Shandong cuisine showcases seafood and robust flavors from coastal influences, while Jiangsu cuisine is known for its refined, subtly sweet dishes and precise knife work. So you ever see or eat food that has very precise cuts of what they're doing? That could be from Jiangsu. Northern Chinese cuisine relies heavily on wheat-based foods like noodles and dumplings, reflecting the agricultural patterns of the region. The harsh winter has led to preservation techniques and heartier dishes. Southern cuisine features more rice, fresh vegetables, and lighter cooking methods due to the warmer climate and abundant growing seasons. So there we go. There's another advocation or advocacy for cooking and eating what you can get your hands on that is local. So try to opt for that when you can. Core cooking principles. So Chinese cooking is guided by fundamental principles that balance flavor, texture, color, and nutrition. The concept of wok hei, again, maybe I'm mispronouncing that, Wokhei, wok hai or wok hei, refers to the distinctive flavor imparted by cooking over extremely high heat in a well-seasoned wok, which is what I'm going to be doing. This technique creates complex flavors through rapid cooking that seals in moisture while developing smoky caramelized notes. Balance is central to Chinese cuisine, both in individual dishes and complete meals. Sweet and sour, spicy and mild, soft and crunchy textures are carefully orchestrated. The 5 basic flavors, sweet, sour, bitter, spicy, and salty, should be present in harmony rather than any single flavor dominating. Which is why sometimes when you eat Chinese food, it's like, and sometimes some of those flavors come through, but like individually. But I have noticed that a lot of Chinese cooking is very balanced, which is really good. That's probably one of the reasons why I like it so much. Traditional Chinese medicine principles influence cooking with foods classified as heating or cooling and meals designed to maintain bodily balance. Ginger is added to seafood dishes not just for flavor but to counteract the cold nature of the fish. This holistic approach views food as medicine and emphasizes eating according to seasons and individual constitution. Cool stuff. These are some customs and etiquette. So Chinese dining is fundamentally communal, with meals served family style where multiple dishes are shared among all diners. Individual rice bowls are provided, but other dishes are placed in the center of the table for everyone to share. Quick kind of like side story. When I was in college, the very first place I went to college was called Fort Hays State University, and they have a sister school in China, and so we had a lot of exchange students from China that would come study in the United States, and I made friends with a couple of guys. One was from Hong Kong, one was from Beijing, and then 2 other guys. One was from Mongolia, and the other one's from Japan. And it was kind of funny and interesting because all these guys used English to communicate with each other because they didn't speak each other's languages. And they told me, like, oh, well, why don't you come over to our house and we'll cook you a meal? And I was like, oh, that's really nice. So I went over, and it was just really interesting to learn about what their life was like in high school and otherwise. But they served everything family style. So I've experienced this whole experience from and they said this is actually interesting that you all don't eat this way because this is like so common. And as far as like appetizers and sequencing meals, that was one thing that they told me, like, that doesn't exist in China. Like, you get everything at once and you just eat everything. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So anyway, side story. Proper chopstick etiquette is essential in Chinese dining culture. Chopsticks should never be stuck upright in rice, as this also resembles incense when burned at funerals and is considered deeply inauspicious. So don't stick your chopsticks in your food. When not actively eating, chopsticks should rest on the provided chopsticks rest or across the edge of your bowl. Passing food directly from chopsticks to chopsticks is avoided, as this mirrors funeral rituals. I think that was also part of Indian cooking. Or not Indian cooking, Japanese cooking. Tea plays a crucial role in Chinese meals, with different teas paired with different types of food. Pu'er tea complements rich, oily dishes, while jasmine tea pairs well with lighter fare. The youngest person at the table traditionally pours tea for others, and tapping 2 fingers on the table is a subtle way to thank someone for pouring your tea. So if you see somebody tap on the table, that is thanking them. Meal structure and timing. So I just mentioned, traditional Chinese meals don't follow Western appetizer, main course, dessert structure. Instead, all dishes except soup are served simultaneously, allowing others to combine flavors as they wish. Soup is often served throughout the meal as a palate cleanser and to aid in digestion. Another thing that I thought was interesting is when I used to work in a restaurant, a lot of people that would come in from China or Japan or wherever else, they would order water that was either tepid, like room temperature water, or hot water. And I was like, why would you drink just hot water? But then I don't remember, I think it was biology. When you drink cold liquid while you're eating, it deactivates pepsin in your stomach, and that helps you, actually like slows your digestion. So if you want a quick fun tip about drinking with your meal, if you drink warmer liquid, it doesn't deactivate the pepsin in your stomach. So, fun fact. Rice or noodles are served as the foundation of most meals, with other dishes considered accompaniments to the grain. The Chinese phrase "qi fan" literally means eat rice, but is used to mean eat a meal, highlighting rice's central importance. So kind of fun there. Breakfast often features congee, which is rice porridge, or with pickled vegetables, steamed buns, soy milk, and fried dough sticks. Lunch and dinner are more elaborate affairs with multiple dishes shared among diners. Late night snacking is common, with street food vendors offering everything from grilled skewers to hot pot ingredients. So there's hot pot. Okay, cool. Chinese. So this is festival foods and symbolic meanings. Oh, I think I said this last week, but just in case I didn't. One thing that I have been really enjoying about this whole experience of cooking meals from different cultures and countries is you find the threads that run through, and almost all of it is food is like a sacred part of people's life. Whether they're aware of it or not, it's a binding agent for family, for friends, for shared experiences, for kind of breaking and destroying that divide that happens outside of mealtime. So it's kind of fun and kind of neat. Anyway, Chinese culture is rich with symbolic meanings, particularly during festivals and celebrations. During Chinese New Year, fish is essential because the word for fish sounds like abundance in Chinese. The fish should be served whole to represent completeness, and some should remain uneaten to symbolize abundance carrying into the new year. So, there you go. Dumplings shaped like gold ingots represent wealth and are eaten during New Year celebrations. Long noodles symbolize longevity and should never be cut when eating. Round foods like tingyuan, sweet rice balls, represent family unity and are eaten during the Lantern Festival. Red-colored foods are favored during celebrations as red symbolizes luck and happiness. Moon cakes are during mid-autumn festival represent the full moon and family completeness. Each festival has its traditional foods that carry deep cultural significance beyond mere sustenance. It's a cool word. I like that one. So let's see. This last section is called Modern Evolution and Global Influence. So contemporary Chinese cuisine continues evolving while maintaining its traditional foundations. Urban restaurants experiment with fusion techniques and international ingredients, while home cooking often adapts traditional recipes for modern convenience and dietary preferences. The global Chinese diaspora, however you want to say that, tomato, tomato, has created unique regional variations from American Chinese takeout to Malaysian Chinese cuisine, each adapting traditional techniques to local ingredients and tastes. These variations have become legitimate culinary traditions in their own right while maintaining connections to their Chinese roots. Hot pot culture has experienced a renaissance, with modern hot pot restaurants offering premium ingredients and sophisticated broths. Like I just mentioned a little bit ago, some hot pot is very tasty. You should try it if you have not. This social dining experience embodies Chinese food culture's communal spirit while adapting to contemporary urban lifestyles. Understanding Chinese cuisine requires appreciating its role as a vehicle for social connection, cultural expression, and philosophical balance. Each meal is an opportunity to strengthen relationships, honor traditions, and maintain harmony between the body and the natural world. The complexity and depth of Chinese food culture reflect a civilization that has elevated cooking from mere sustenance to high art, social ritual, and cultural preservation. Consequential, if you ask me. It's pretty cool. Okay, now I'm going to start cooking. So I got to get this wok really toasty. And it says get the wok as hot as possible in the directions on how to make this. I don't really want to make it as hot as possible because my stove, my range is like insanely hot. So if I turn it up too high, I'll probably just burn my house down, which I don't really want to do, especially because my son is upstairs sleeping. Okay. Well, I wouldn't want to do it anyway, but okay. I don't feel like I don't know why I felt like the need to. Okay, I don't know. I'll just shut up. Okay, so we're going to heat oil. We'll heat up the peanut oil, and then I actually need to grab a couple more tablespoons. So I'm going to go ahead and get that right now. Actually, I could probably just go ahead and use this dish. Peanut oil. And you don't have to use peanut oil, but I always like to try and use the oil that they recommend or suggest when you are cooking, and it specifically calls out peanut oil. And this website that I got this recipe from seems very authentic. It is written in Chinese, so, or maybe a different language that I don't know, but it says Chinese at the top. So anywho, all right, so I'm gonna let this get really hot, and then I'll be right back.